The next company is DARWINEX. We all know that fintech and especially the financial service, it's being disrupted. And I'm very pleased to introduce DARWINEX, especially because they are also like selected one of the most disruptive fintech companies in Europe. So very curious to know what you're working on.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us here today. So my name is Juan Colón. I'm CEO and co-founder with DARWINEX. And at DARWINEX, we empower traders. And the reason we do that is because the web powers online marketplaces where independent people can make a living. If you are a talented freelancer, you can make a living through Elance. If you have a talent for art, you can make a living through Etsy. But if you have a talent to grow money by, say, 20% a year, you need investor capital. The reason for that is if you manage, say, 10 million of investor money, you grow that by 20%, you've created 2 million of profit, you keep the 20% success share, and woohoo, you've made $400,000 a year, which is a hedge fund would be making. However, for that, you need to be regulated, and there's a lot of hurdles for that. If you don't have that regulation, you're left on your own, and there's no marketplace that provides you with that capital. In that situation, if you grow money by the same 20% on your 5 peanuts of personal capital, you've made 1 peanut, which is not a sustainable business model. So just like Amazon empowered writers by making them ebooks on your Kindle, we empower traders by making them an investable asset in your pocket. There's a global niche that you wouldn't suspect of, which is really helpful for you because about 5% of any investment portfolio should be invested in assets without correlation and liquidity, and that's a lot of peanuts, 1 trillion globally, that are chasing very few assets and thus making bad returns. And that's the reason why we turn the best 3 to 5 million global traders worldwide, which is a 3 to 5 billion market globally, into a portfolio that you can invest in. It works through profit exchange. The traders are trading with a broker, competing to impress the investors, and the investors allocate capital to them. When they make a profit, they keep 80% of it, and they pay 20% to us, and we pay 15% to the trader, who thus becomes a hedge fund manager and overcomes this issue. We have a very differentiated proposition that good traders really understand, that sets us apart from our competition, and more importantly, we have gathered a lot of traction. In the years since we opened our broker, we started from 0 revenues, and we're now currently processing 2 billion of nominal per month, which equates to $60,000 per month in revenues on the brokerage side alone. But more importantly, our algorithms can tell the good traders in our community, and if you had invested in the best traders in our community over the last year, you would have made a return of about 45% on less risk than any of those indices who returned some negative money. So there's real bucks to be made here, and that's our best way to acquire customers. Because we know we can profitably invest in our own customers, we deploy our own capital. We're currently offering 2 million of seed capital to our own customers, which attracts good traders, which attracts more investors, and then we get the marketplace dynamics going and reach the hockey stick. The DARWINEX team is led by the 3 founders. We have collectively 30 years' worth of experience in financial markets. We're backed by a board, including guys with Goldman Sachs and Elance. And we're now raising our Series A to accelerate our growth in Europe and Asia and to the US, deploy even more cooler technology to analyze the big data, and generally build a kick-ass operation. So thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
How do you acquire your traders and your customers?
Right. So, very good question. So the traders we target are really good traders who know that they need a viable business model to make a living. They need the investor capital. Because we can tell who's good and who's just lucky, we basically deploy. We've started off by deploying our own capital, which attracts the good traders, which then allows us to attract the investors, and then we prime the engine.
How much capital manage through your platform?
So we have started that, we've been on closed beta, so we've only allowed 300 investors up to now. There's about 300,000 euros of assets, but we've now invested 2 million of our own capital to prove that we can invest it without not making a loss. And if we don't make a loss at doing that, essentially it's a question of deploying 10 times that capital, 20 times that capital, and that attracts more and more traders.
Maybe one more question.
What are the asset classes that you're focusing on?
So we target the most liquid asset classes globally, because that way it's a scalable business model. Right now you can trade commodities, stock indices, and foreign exchange. However, the methodology allows us to offer any futures, offered anywhere worldwide. And that's the next thing we're doing, is just piping more and more liquid assets into the platform.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Very much.
Thanks.